Hi, everyone. I'm Debbie Muir, co-host of this webinar with Mark Tewksbury. We're from Great Traits, and thank you for joining us. We're super excited to have you here. Today is about how early career business professionals leverage our three-stage framework to become confident, respected, and trusted leaders in just 90 days, and without having to break the bank on higher education. So if you're ready to become the great leader that you know you can be, you're at the right place. We're really excited to introduce you to our time-tested winning framework that we've developed and practiced and perfected for over 30 years. We've seen great success with it, as have hundreds of business professionals from all walks of life. Bottom line, if you want to take on more responsibility, gain a competitive edge, get breakthrough results, and be more confident, the framework you'll see today will work very well for you. So what we're going to talk about is a unique three-stage framework that guarantees you'll be the leader you always wanted to be. It's also unique because we're going to train you like we train Olympic athletes to win. All three stages are based on the fundamentals of high performance, providing the skills needed to keep getting better and better over time.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Tewksbury, and I'm excited to be joining Debbie today for this webinar. You haven't formally met us yet, but you should know that Debbie is one of the world's best coaches. Over 30 years ago, she figured out the pathway to take her athletes, synchronized swimmers, to be world champions. That's number one in the world. And get this, they stayed on top for 10 years, culminating in 2 Olympic gold medals. Debbie realized the winning pathway could work for anyone. And over the years, we've seen thousands of people succeed with this framework. So we know this process works. But that's not always the case with leadership training. Let's look at a few facts about the industry. So let's start with some good news. The vast majority of organizations recognize that developing leaders is important. And because you're on this webinar today, you probably recognize the value of this kind of investment, especially in yourself. So if you agree with that statement, that you recognize the value of investing in yourself, go ahead, open the chat, and please put yes in there for us to see. Great. Yeah, lots of yeses. No surprise, we all feel the same way there. Well, let's look at some bad news. 90% of big bosses believe that leadership development initiatives are not working. What's being taught just isn't linking to improved performance in the workplace. This is huge. There are thousands of leadership development programs out there that generate billions of dollars as an industry, yet it's not working. So we'll be changing that stat with what we're going to share with you today. The other fact worth noting here is that 63% of millennials are of the opinion that their leadership skills haven't been fully developed. So if you want to preload yourself for success, so you're ready to grab that opportunity when it comes, the framework we're sharing today will give you the skills you're looking for. So we're curious, where would you say you're on your leadership journey? We're going to put up a poll, and there's 5 different options to choose from. And just take a second and let us know, where do you find yourself as you're joining this webinar today? Hi, Alan. Okay, that's great. Alan's a new leader. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Kate. Welcome. Oh, it's really fun to see people are from all kinds of various stages. And just know, wherever you are on your journey, there's going to be big benefits from our program. But don't take our word for it. Here's what some of our graduates have had to say. I love this quote from an emerging leader. We helped hone their skills. So many people want to up their game, but they don't know where to start. We make it easy. How about this? Gave me permission to step into my leadership role. This is great. And of course, when you build skills, you're also going to build your confidence and be able to step up. It gave me an amazing framework I use every day. Imagine going from feeling paralyzed and unable to face challenges to having a process to never feel stuck again. Connecting with your team and inspiring them is huge as a leader. It's something that's often asked of us, but not necessarily something that we've been taught. It's kind of like we think to ourselves, I know I'm supposed to do this, but how? Don't worry, we've got you covered. And increased awareness and confidence. We, because it's Debbie and me and our team of high performance coaches, we're so excited to see people leave our program happy, self-confident, and respected leaders.
If you're taking this workshop right now, maybe you're early in your career or new to a leadership role, or you might even have imposter syndrome. You had some success, but you're thinking, oh no, what if everyone finds out I really don't know what I'm doing? Maybe you're desperate for a leadership development solution, but you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed. You're just kind of paralyzed and you don't know where to start. Maybe you've had no leadership training before, but you see yourself as a future leader and you want a competitive edge. Maybe you got overlooked for a promotion or an advancement, and you had to take a really tough look at yourself and decide, maybe it's time I invest and learn some of these skills that are going to really help me for the rest of my career. Well, great that you're on this webinar, because today you're going to learn how to approach leadership training in a way that works. You're going to learn to become the confident leader you know you can be. You're going to have a greater positive impact on your team's performance. And probably most importantly, how to have fun and enjoy work again. And you'll do all of this without wasting money. You'll do it without wasting your precious time. You'll do it without needing any previous leadership experience. And you'll do it without needing permission from anybody. You don't have to wait for somebody else like a boss telling you if you're worth investing in or not. You are.
So who are we? Well, we're Great Traits. Debbie and I founded the company in 2007. That was when we wrote and published our book, The Great Traits of Champions, kind of the anecdotal history of how the three-stage framework that we're going to share with you today originally came to be. But our friendship goes back over 30 years. The picture on the left is from Pasadena, California, circa 1992. The other was at a winery outside of Sydney, Australia. You can see the time-stamped 1993. We've been through a lot together. But it's time to get to know us a little bit better. So I'll get us started. So hi again. When I was 8 years old, I was inspired by watching the Olympics on TV. So I joined the Cascade Swim Club in Calgary, Alberta. About 10 years later, I was on a national team and I was now a competitive swimmer. I won a silver at the World Championships 18 months before the Olympics in Barcelona. I was 6/100ths of a second behind the gold medalist. You can see him on the left showing his team. He won by less than a fingernail. Well, then bam, that same guy 10 months before the Olympics smashed the world record, dropped 1.2 seconds. And now I'm a full body length behind, over 6 feet. My dream was dead and I didn't see it coming. It was my wake-up call. It was like not getting that job you know you were next in line for, or overlooked for that role you just knew was yours. But thankfully, that's when I met Debbie. Debbie was the world's greatest synchronized swimming coach. She brought her winning framework to apply to my sport, swimming, and it really worked. I was the one that shocked everyone, even myself. I dropped 1.2 seconds and I won an Olympic gold medal by 6/100ths, less than a fingernail. And here's the cool part. The skills I developed that year have laid the foundation for success for the rest of my life. I was the head of the Canadian Olympic team in London in 2012. It's called a chef de mission, and it's not a cooking term. It's French for chief of mission. Imagine going from athlete to leading the whole team. Debbie was also awesome as my coach because I was able to come out to her as a gay guy back in 1992. I would come out publicly in 1998, and I've been a leader in the global LGBTQ plus movement ever since. I've been lucky to share the stage with the Dalai Lama. I've championed human rights. I even received in 2019 a Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Award. But all of this success began 30 years ago by mastering the three-stage framework that we're going to share with you today.
And hi again, everyone. Just like many coaches, I started out as an athlete in my sport, synchronized swimming. I actually went to the very first World Championships, and there we won a silver medal in the team event. And it was here that I decided I really, really wanted to go into coaching. For 27 years, I had the wonderful opportunity of leading many athletes to become world and Olympic champions. In these photos are the athletes that I coached to 2 golds at the Seoul Olympics, Carolyn Waldo and Michelle Cameron. So over the years, I proudly won all kinds of coaching awards and went into 3 different sports Hall of Fames. And of course, it's always nice to be honored on an international level. But one of my most favorite interviews came from a local reporter and resulted in this quote: "Debbie Muir hates to lose." Okay, I admit it, I really do love to win. As I was leading all these athletes to Olympic success, I had an aha moment. Success came from many things, like my ability to motivate my team, to inspire them, to build trust, to make them resilient. I needed to plan. I needed to know when to raise the bar. You get the idea. I realized that 80% of what I was doing had nothing to do with my expertise and technical knowledge. These skills aren't just for success in sport. They're fundamental for anyone in any industry. That's when this whole obsession of developing high-performance leaders happened. No one wants to be that bad leader that nobody wants to work for. But most people don't even know how not to be. Some people call leadership a soft skill, but I call them essential skills. And that's because without these skills, you leave your success to chance. In this photo, you can see 3 of our classes attending our program. We've seen hundreds of our participants thrive using our 3-stage framework. This is how I define winning today. When our participants win, we win. So much so that we guarantee it. You'll see results in just 90 days.
So let's take a quick look at who this program is not for. So if you think leadership can't be taught in a step-by-step simple process, this program isn't for you. If you're not open to learning new ideas, hearing from peers, this program's also not for you. If you're not willing to do the work, thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. But you know what? You've got to be in it to win it with us. If you think leadership is a noun, that it's a title, it's static, it just sits there, then definitely this isn't for you. This is applied and dynamic each step of the way. And if you think you know everything about leadership, awesome. You go ahead and you lead. But please don't take this program. It's not for you. So who is this program for? Well, if you're early in your career as a business professional looking to upskill, this program totally is for you. If you're looking to lead yourself and your team more effectively, definitely this is for you. If you're a high performer, self-motivated, have a growth mindset, want to stand out from the crowd, for sure, this program is 100% definitely for you. So today we want to make sure that after this webinar, you leave an even better leader than you are right now, this very second. You're going to learn 3 things. Part 1, we're going to look at the 4 biggest misperceptions around what it takes to be a great leader. Part 2, we're going to see why leadership training is failing so miserably and maybe actually making things worse. And finally, part 3, we're going to find out how activating 3-stage framework that we'll share with you will solve every leadership challenge thrown at you.
All right, so part 1, we're going to look at the 4 biggest misperceptions around what it takes to be a great leader. Misperception number 1. It takes years and is overly complicated. Maybe you're an early career business professional or a new leader, and along with your role comes a ton more work. You're already overwhelmed and frustrated. You don't have enough time in the day as it is. Things are piling up. How could you possibly add leadership training on top of everything else? All of this is a misperception. You can actually practice leadership while you're doing your job. In fact, that's the only way to truly become a great leader. Misperception number 2, it costs tens of thousands of dollars. Institutions like the Harvard School of Business can cost a ton of money. And sure, there's value in these kinds of programs, but by no means does having a diploma or degree from an institution make you a great leader. Sure, you might think you need a formal education that costs more than you can afford, that you need to study theories and understand complicated models if you want to be a great leader. But stop letting that idea hold you back. Knowing leadership and being a great leadership are two very different things. With a smart investment in yourself and the right leadership training, you can become great in just a few months. Misperception number 3, that it's up to someone else to decide when you're ready to be a leader. Nuh-uh, it isn't. All it really takes is you deciding. Don't let somebody else manage your career. You want to be in control of your own destiny. You might think it's up to somebody else, like your boss, to decide if and when you're a leader, or to be identified in the talent pool that says you're a high potential. The takeaway here is you decide. And just the mere fact that if you're still on this webinar tells me that you have a desire and the makings of what it takes to be a great leader. Misperception number 4, it takes having a title to be a leader. Having a title doesn't make you a leader. Some of the best leaders emerge and have no title. And sometimes the CEO with the biggest title and the biggest salary is actually the worst leader. Great leaders can come from anywhere at any time. It takes learning and practicing specific skills, not having a fancy title. So just a quick recap. Being a great leader doesn't need to take years and be overly complicated. It doesn't require tens of thousands of dollars. It doesn't depend on someone else deciding for you, and it doesn't require having a title.
So now that we've debunked some of those myths, let's move along to part 2. Why is leadership failing so miserably in spite of huge investments of time and money and knowing how important it is to an organization's success? Well, we know there are thousands of leadership programs to choose from out there. And as an industry that is generating billions of dollars annually. And yet with all of this investment, it's still not leading to high-performing leaders. There's a real disconnect with results. It's like money and time down the toilet. So let's start by looking at more traditional delivery models of leadership training. You know, there's usually at least one full day offsite, if not more. We used to be guilty of that ourselves. So for 8 hours, you've had information thrown at you all day, and you're leaving completely overwhelmed, and you can really only remember a couple of things. You're getting back to a day behind at work, a backlog of emails. So now you're doubly overwhelmed. It's also not uncommon for courses to require tens of hours of studying above and beyond your regular workload. And again, it's hard to retain all that information, especially if it's based on theories or complicated models that don't actually find their way into practical daily use. The whole thing was set up to fail. So what if we took an entirely different approach to leadership training? We come from high performance sport, and all high performance really means is the ongoing pursuit of better results, of constantly raising the bar. And so the coach or athletes on the left side of this picture, well, they're striving to get better results and move up the world rankings. Well, they share very similar things to the business people on the right, striving for better results and to move up the corporate ladder, so to speak. Athlete success and business success are surprisingly similar because they share the pursuit of high performance. So let's show you what we mean and dive a little bit deeper with this idea, starting with the high performance development pathway that athletes go through. So here's how it works. An athlete needs to start with the foundation building phase. This first phase is fundamental to success. And look, it goes all the way across the top of the screen. It shows how it underpins the entire journey from beginning to winning Olympic gold. Once that foundation of fundamental skills is in place, Athletes and coaches add more complex skills and start to put it together. It really starts to pull together, and their performance and results go to the next level. Then they can start perfecting these skills in their daily training routine and actually preparing to win. And finally, when it counts the most, they're able to pull out the skills. They can deliver their best performance on demand. We know this process works. It's literally high performance by design.
So let's map over the athlete development framework with a leadership development framework. You can see how perfect it works. The leadership high performance framework starts with foundation building, just like an athlete. Before you can lead others to high performance, you must fundamentally understand how to lead yourself to great results. With that foundation solidly in place, you can take the next step, which is leading others to be their best. This requires you to build on your foundational skills and take them to another level, a level where you're able to use them to lead others. Then it's taking that skill to the next level again. And in phase 3, creating ongoing success, not one-offs, but results that are repeatable and sustainable. And because the framework is action-oriented, the skills you train become integrated over time. They become part of you, which leads to the final part of our webinar today.
Part 3 of our presentation today is how activating our 3-stage framework will solve every leadership challenge thrown at you. What? I know, we know that's a big claim, but this unique 3-stage framework leads you step by step through the learning, and it really works. Why? Well, most leadership training programs aren't practical. They exist alongside your work, not part of it. You're doing this training, but it's in isolation, and it never finds its way into your actual workday. In this case, you're leaving your ability to be a great leader to chance. Really? Is that what you're looking for? If you want to be a great leader, you have to practice. You need to train the skills on your job, just like athletes do. And as you practice the skills and train in your actual workplace, you're no longer leaving anything to chance. We call this high performance leadership by design. A rock solid foundation gets built as you travel through the pathway. With stage 1, we build the foundation of leading yourself step by step, trait by trait. You train and practice what you're learning in your actual workplace. Then stage 2, leading others. Same process, but a new set of skills. And by continuing to practice and train them in your workplace, you're literally loading yourself with high performance skills. Then stage 3, how do you sustain high performance over time for ongoing success? You continue training and practicing this next set of skills. And as you move along the high performance framework, skills connect in ways you couldn't have imagined. It's this daily application that kind of sneaks up on you because the step-by-step approach to leadership training really adds up. It's that slow burn that Renee speaks of here. Suddenly you realize you're bringing the traits to life without even knowing it. Once you've completed the 3-stage leadership framework, you have the skills you need when you need them. We call that the accumulative effect because it's what makes the simple traits so great. We hear from a lot of our graduates that they were getting exactly what they needed in real time, as Jamie notes here. The program is delivered in a very logical yet intuitive order, which is where the magic lies. If you're a new leader or early career professional, this 3-stage framework will actually help you organize leadership in a way you didn't think possible. You'll be able to operationalize it. You've been taken step by step through this framework. But once you get to the very end, that linear part changes. Now, all of these tools start to work together. And every day, different traits can be called upon as you continue your leadership journey.
Leadership needs to be practiced and trained. It's all about the integration and application. Let's see how these traits can start to work together. Maybe you have to have a really tough conversation with someone. Instead of dreading it or even avoiding having the conversation in the first place, The traits you need will give you a starting point. Step into their shoes. Try looking at them from their point of view. Listen. And by that, I mean really listen to what they have to say and without judgment. And finally, just be kind. Maybe you're looking to get a team you lead to perform better. Instead of feeling like you don't even know where to start, you set a common goal and do a team alignment check. See where the team thinks that they're at and provide them with the support that they need to be better. Maybe you're looking to retain your great staff and need to make sure people are feeling inspired and excited to come to work. Communicating your values connects people and makes all kinds of outcomes possible. Again, the right traits guide that process. The beauty of this is, once you've trained the traits and the skills needed to be a high-performing leader, you get to use them for the rest of your life. Like an athlete, high performance is apply and practice and perfect. And then you get to do it all over again, over and over and over. This is how you grow into the leader that you want to be. Confident, respected, trusted, someone people love to work for.
Remember, leadership isn't about a diploma or a title. It isn't static or superficial. It doesn't sit in a binder or on your shelf. It doesn't depend on someone else deciding for you. It certainly doesn't require tens of thousands of dollars, and it doesn't need to be overly complicated and take years. Leadership is in the doing. It's alive and active and dynamic, and it changes day to day, person to person, which is why leadership needs to be practiced. And that's the magic of the program. It gives you the framework that keeps on giving. When asked, 92% of our graduates say they'll continue to apply everything they learned going forward. This is huge. It means the learning sticks. It actually translates to being able to take on more responsibilities, to effectively lead dynamic teams, to drive business revenue and growth. And since we're sharing, 92% of graduates say they're even more confident leaders when they finish the program. Over 94% say they're more effective in their jobs, and 98% thought the materials were top-notch. Our playbooks are more graphic novel than thick 300-page textbook. We've made the learning powerful, but fun and easy to access. Tens of hours of reading above and beyond your job are not required with this program.
The feedback from graduates is overwhelming. Time and again, they tell us that this is the best leadership training that they've ever taken, that it's practical and easy to digest, that we have great tools, that they went on a journey of self-discovery, which is unique to each person, that our program is a game changer. If you're looking for a training program that's guaranteed to improve your leadership skills, then this program is the answer. We keep things simple. No more feeling lost or overwhelmed, searching for that program that's going to actually work. Now you've found it. It's the Corporate Champions program. And once you have the framework, there really isn't any situation that you can't tackle. Taking on any leadership challenge becomes surprisingly easy. If you're in a position right now where you look back on the past 12 months and you think, I'm not where I want to be, listen, if that's you, you cannot afford to keep doing what you're currently doing. We want to offer you an opportunity right now, here on this webinar, that could take your leadership to another world. If you want to be a confident, respected, and trusted leader that delivers ongoing success, then you have to act now. Every day you do nothing is another day lost. Days turn into months. All that time you could have been using this framework to become a great leader.
So here's what we want you to do. We're going to offer you a completely free high-performance coaching call to be able to talk with you one-on-one and see if we can figure out how we can get you to where you want to be as a leader. We're going to be booking just for the next couple of days. So you'll leave this call with the exact framework that has taken us and our clients from zero to great leaders in just 90 days. Don't leave your success to chance or as a guessing game. If you just follow the framework that we've used and hundreds of our clients have used, you can very, very easily become the confident, respected, trusted leader you want to be. Here's what we mean. Samantha took our program. She moved to Calgary, Alberta from California. In spite of facing a brutal year, she was relentless in using our exercises and applying them to the goal of not only navigating the new job at a new company in a new country, she got a promotion and a 14% pay increase. We would love you to be next, but we've just got to make sure that this program fits for both of us. That's the whole point of the high performance coaching call. Part of the reason we're so successful is that we make sure that we have the right people going through the program. We don't offer this to everyone. We don't want to waste anyone's time or money. We're very picky about who participates because remember, there are no shortcuts. The program is very carefully structured, but it only works if you're willing to do the work. And that starts with the high performance coaching call. You're going to jump on this call with Debbie or I or one of our team. And if it feels like a good fit, then you may be offered a chance to take the Corporate Champions program, which gives you the framework that has helped early professionals in their career become high-performing leaders in just 90 days. We only have a limited number of spots. To find out if we're a good fit for each other, book your high-performance coaching call right now. It all starts with this phone call, and I really suggest booking it now because we've got limited space, and once those spots are gone, they're literally gone.
So here's what's going to happen, and this is really important. Once you book your call, you'll receive a short form to fill out. This will help us get to know you a little and be prepared for your call. It's really important. You need to complete this form before we will confirm your coaching call time. All right, so go ahead, book your call right now, and remember to get us back that form so we can confirm your call. Don't be that bad leader that nobody wants to work for. Be the great leader you know you can be. Sign up for your call now. And thanks so much for being on our webinar today. If you made it this far, you really do need to sign up to talk to one of us. We're really looking forward to hearing from you and to help you become the confident, respected, and trusted leader that people love to work for.